gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Young Farmer. My name is Andy, as always, and you join me today as we are, well, we're going back, really. We're going back to the future, I think is probably the best way to explain it. It is currently late October. This is going to be coming out to you probably early December, I reckon. And we're going to be showing you a little bit more about the advancement in the technology that I use as a contractor here, and also about how the implementation of that technology for the customer. And it starts with this rig on the back. Now, this is a rented rig. The trailer, the ATV, and the shiny piece of metal on the back there, it's nothing to do with me, but it is a soil sampler. Now, I'm going to drive this thing around this. I've got two fields here, this one and the one over the hedge there, both of which combined come to around about 23-ish acres, if memory serves. And we're going to go and test the soil. We're going to take soil samples, which then get boxed up, distributed off to the lab, and agronomists will have a look at them. They sample the soil there, they test them for the pH level in there, the nitrogen level, and the soil type as well. And then that all gets recorded down by the fields, at which point the farmer then has a record that they can use with their agronomist to kind of figure out exactly what they're going to be putting onto their fields, really. Now, the reason we want to do that is because you want to identify what is going to be best, effectively, to put onto your crops. So when you're planting, let's say, a crop of spring barley, like this will be going into next year, you want to find out what's going to be the best thing to put down on the deck so that you can maximize your yield, minimize your inputs, and make the best bang for your buck there, really, at the end of it. Now, that all depends upon the different types of soil types that we're going to be using and that we come across. There's a lot of like heavier ground on here, but there's also a few bands of lighter sandy loam in there as well. So that's what we kind of really need to figure out. And to do that, we use this guy. Now I'm just going to unfold this out. Just get that done there. That's our auger going in, really. So this guy here, you put this onto the deck. It does a drill down. It takes out about a 2-foot soil sample, which gets put into these tubes. I'm going to store a whole bunch of these in the back here as I go. And we're going to do this field, and then once we get this field done, we're going to move on and we're going to do the other field. And from there, it's very much a case of waiting. We'll be drilling some barley into this field, and then we'll be coming back to put some fertilizer on it. Once it's coming through there, once it's put merged, we're going to put some nitrogen on just to give it a small little boost, and then we'll see how it looks and come back to it in the winter there. Now, I might come and revisit and just talk about what our process looks like during the colder months in December there, I think. So we'll see, but for now, like I say, we just need to get into this guy. I'm going to lower it down right about there, and then we're just going to take our sample. And just like that, it's going to be good to go. So we are going to just tick our way around this field here. We're going to take all of our different samples. We move ourselves forward from this point. There we go. Now we're just going to keep on marching forward, keeping in a straight line here. We try and take one about every 50 meters or so. And it allows us to get a real good idea of across the field, really, span across the field. Sometimes you could do it less there, but what that might mean is that, you know, sometimes you're gonna there could be smaller seams, really, of different soil quality, soil type going through the ground there, and you don't want to miss that. Oh, it's a plane taking off. So that's why we kind of, oh, there it is. That's why we do take multiple samples there. It takes about a week to get the soil test results back, and from there we'll have a real indication of what we're looking at. So it is very interesting. There's a lot of chemistry behind it, of which I don't really understand. Now, what is great about this is this information can get loaded into a little SD card, really, for want of a better description. I can plug this into my GPS. When I come to do this particular farmer's field, I can program this in that we're in field number 1, let's say, for argument's sake, and then that will load up the records. So my spreaders are vario rate, which means that we can spread a different amount of fertilizer per hectare, given the quality of the soil. So that means that in some areas where it's very it has a specific pH or is very nitrogen rich, we can put less down, and that will allow us to be able to efficiently spread our fertilizer, reduce the amount of we are applying there, so reduce waste, and also you know, ensure that we do still maximize the yield out of it off the back end. So that's what we're going to be looking at there. It's something that I've really been starting to get into quite a lot more recently. And it could be something that's going to be really fascinating to see. My monitors in my class tractors and the Amazon Pantera do allow plug into the variable rate application software, so I can see what I'm putting down there at any given time, which is pretty cool. The sprayers have auto shut off, so when they get to an area which doesn't need a specific fertilizer, if I'm putting liquid fertilizer down, it will cut it off and it will stop it. Same thing goes with the drills. The drills, when you get into a certain soil there, will put less kilograms of seed per hectare in, because it realizes the soil condition does not need as many seeds in which to successfully establish. And so again, same thing applies. It allows you to really become that little bit more efficient with how much seed you actually need. A lot of farmers are starting to focus on this a lot more because, yeah, the potential savings are huge. Combine that with the fuel savings and by being more efficient when you're using GPS as well, you can really start to see your costs come down. The reason why we went for the John Deere 750A drill is because it is a zero tillage drill, or it certainly can be. It means that we can direct drill into cover crops, which again removes the need for direct cultivations or conventional cultivations, which can significantly increase my output in terms of fuel, wear in parts, wear on tractors, labor, you know, the time it's having the boys sit in the cab there. So yeah, lots of different factors to take in there. So ultimately, what we're going to do, we're just going to keep on firing around here. We're going to get all these taken. We'll show you what it looks like when we get in front of the get the results back there, because I'll be working closely with the contractor, the customer here. And we'll show you what this all looks like. We've got this field to do, like I say, got the one next door to do, and then we'll be back with you as soon as we can. Well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is now about 14 days after we were last here with that little buggy, and we are back. It's another quite nice day, actually. The soil samples have been back. I've retrieved the information from the customer, and we're just going to have a look at it on our little laptop here to travel around with. So this is my field mapping software. Now you can see as we have a look at these two fields here, there's two different colors across fields 8 and 40. This is the farmer's reference point for the fields. He doesn't name them, he just put numbers on, and that works just as well for me. So you can see that we have this large sweeping blue block through, like 1.5 fields almost, and then a little bit of a difference. Now, as you can see on my key here, that would indicate that we have silty clay for the most part in the blue, and then a lot of loam in this bottom corner here. And now what that means is that we have two different variables for our pH levels that we're going to be looking into. So as I come across here, you'll see that means that we have two separate different colors here. We have like a limey green really at the very top there, with a big band of yellow down at the bottom, which kind of marries up a little bit. You can see where the silty the silty clay and the loam is really in that field 40 there. So that's where our pH levels vary. Now, to give you an idea for the silty clay, my pH level should be around about a 7, which would indicate it would be like a turquoisey green or a blue. And as you can see right now, we're hovering around a 6 or a low 6.25. So that means that we have a lot of work that we need to increase that pH with. So what we're going to do for that is we need to look at bringing in a little bit of organic matter, getting a little bit of a boost there through something like lime, or through getting some muck onto the field at some point there. And we will be looking to do that probably in the new year, because this is going to go into spring barley anyway, so we'll have a look into doing that one. And as we come across, we're going to have a look at our nitrogen levels now. You can see here that, well, there's next to no nitrogen in here. So what that means is that we have to have some applied onto here when we need to. So much like with our, once we get the pH levels kind of balanced out a bit, we will look to try and get a little bit of nitrogen on here in the springtime as well. Now, we may even look to try and address this a little bit with some lime before we go into the winter there, see what the farmer wants to do. I have to have a discussion about that one. And if he does, then we don't have a lime spreader that could do that, because I usually would spread line with just a muck spreader there. But if we want to get a bit more accuracy, then we can definitely get a hold of a lime spreader in which to do that. And we'll see what he wants to do. As you see the different colors here, the different shades of orange and red when it comes to the nitrogen levels, and the different greens and yellows when it comes to the pH there. By using the precision farming approach there with our GPS and our integrated variable rate spreading, we would then be able to spread a higher amount in a specific area where it needs it, where it's a bit more of a yellow shade. We could put a bit more down there so it turns into that kind of that preferred turquoisey green that we're looking for. So that's what we'll be kind of aiming to do there. This software as well, we connect this to our combines when we get going in the summer, so we can actually track our yields. So obviously there's nothing harvested on here at the moment for this year, so it is empty, but this will give us a path and a pattern of how our yields been against what we've anticipated. So you can see we want to be seeing this green color again across it all, but we may or may not see that. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. So that's what the plan is going to be. I'm going to take these results and sit down with the farmer now, see what he wants to do, and then we'll and then if we need to, we'll be back doing a bit of spreading at some point, I should imagine there, and we'll see if we can get any line put down onto this field. So watch out, we'll come back to you and see how it's all looking. Well, alright then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is probably one of the longest videos I've ever compiled, I think. This is spanning over the period of about 3.5 weeks. We borrowed the lime, we leased the lime spreader, and this is full of lime. We're going to get this field done and the one over the road there. And we're gonna see how this works, really show you in real time how it all comes along, and we'll get this all set up ready to roll. So we'll just need to get this unfolded. It's already hooked up ready, so we're just going to pull those down there. Now, all being well, my GPS should and is set up. There we go. So we're just going to pull ourselves round, spreading around 18 meters. It is all set up to work with the GPS down here, so we're going to try and get it plugged into this little monitor here, bring it all up there so you can see the yield mapping coming along as we go. I think that'll be pretty cool to see. So yeah, let's see what we can do here. And I'm going to just stick that button on there and off we go then. Fantastic. So let me just make sure it looks like we're covering well. There goes another plane again. Another beautiful day here. We've had a few spells of rain recently. I believe last time out there we even got into the got ourselves into the field, into the yard, sorry, just to get some tidying up done there, so that's all looking good. Last time you saw us, so we're doing pretty well there. The boys are out and about doing various different things, and it's all looking pretty good, so very happy with that. As you can see though, the yield map itself here for us is coming through and working quite well, so that's pretty good. And we'll see how we get on here. Ultimately, we shouldn't be too bad. I think we're going about just around 13 miles an hour. We're going to knock it off there, though. Turn around. We'll get the headland done at the end here just to see what's going on. This is very much just a test for myself to see how everything is bearing up here right now. And I think... alright then. I think we're okay. Perfect, and as you can see here, yes, the yield map is showing us as we come through that the varying different application rates here. You can see that we do have a target rate in which to apply the fertilizer on as well, and what that, or the lime on, sorry. And what that means is that it will change in and out when we are we're moving through a certain position in the field. The satellites know where we are there, so it dictates down to the box inside here, which then controls the machine out the back there just to really kick us along properly there. So it's all very, very, very complicated in how it works, but it's so interesting to watch it actually do its thing. It really, really is. And that's that one done, so we're going to knock that off again. And around we go once more. I have been a big advocate for this precision farming style for since I kind of really got my teeth stuck into it on the Royal Highland show not so long ago actually. So looking forward to seeing where we can take this really as a business myself, and see, you know, how much I can bring to my customers and really help them, and ultimately improve their production whilst increasing the environmentally friendly footprint and reducing their input costs as well. So that way everybody wins really. So I think that's going to be quite important. I always like to keep an eye on this. It's brilliant to watch it just kind of tick along there. I think it's going really, really well. So that seems to be working very nicely. And we'll see how it continues. GPS means that we keep nice and straight. No problems at all there. So yeah, very, very happy with how this is coming along. We're going to continue though. And you just need to knock this off about there, so we can turn ourselves around. This will get worked in, the elements will work this in a bit as well over the time. This will restore the pH value just a little bit and then allow us to really continue to boost our crops on. And in the spring there, once we've drilled, we will be drilling with some nitrogen in there at the same time to give it a good boost. We'll see how it goes. So, but for now, I'm going to leave it here. I have been a young farmer. I do hope you have enjoyed, as always, this little bit of a glimpse into the life of a precision farmer here, a precision contractor, and we'll bring you a bit of an update as this field continues to grow through the spring and into harvest next year, and the same for the guy over the hedge line there as well. So until that time though, we'll see you later, so thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed. If you have and you've yet to do so, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Simulation for the Nation, and we will see you all in the next one. Till then, take care, enjoy yourself, and we'll catch you later.